Hi, I'm Roger Wakefield, lead AP, the expert plumber. Welcome to the Plumbing Q&A Live, the best place on the internet to learn to make more money as a plumber. So here you can find and network with other plumbers. You can learn from people that want to get into the trades, people that are in the trades and want to get better, tradesmen that want to open their own company, and plumbing company owners that want to learn more about social media and grow their company. So I'm Roger Wakefield, the expert plumber. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you're catching this recorded and you are looking for something special, jump over to the channel and search what you are looking for. You may want to hang out though, because you can learn how to make more money as a plumber or any other tradesman really. Whatever you do, remember to subscribe, share, and ring the bell so you don't miss out on anything. And here we go. So let me ask you this. What are you doing to make yourself a better tradesperson? And when I say tradesperson, I mean, if you're an apprentice, if you're a journeyman, whatever the case may be, what are you doing to make yourself better? And man, we've already got people in the chat. It's already going good. I will tell y'all this. If you want to ask questions tonight, what I want you to do is go up to the top, click on the forum, and go over. You've got a link there. Go over to the forum, fill it out. We've already got questions in here ready to go. I love this. So what I'm going to tell you is, and let's not put up a whole lot of questions on the screen out of the chat, stuff like that. Now, are we doing it? Are we starting this week? Man, we're starting today. So here's what the deal is. Later today, an hour and a half from now, the chat will be for members only. And we've been working on this for a while. I think we've got 40, 50 members in there, something like that. So we've got enough members in there that we've decided, look, anybody wants to go into the forum and ask questions, that is amazing. What we can do is anything after that, it's all going to have to be on the forum. So guys, seriously, if you want to ask questions, go into the forum. I'm making sure that my phone is on Do Not Disturb. Man, happy Monday. I got to tell y'all, last week was kind of crazy. So we've got people in here from the UK already. I love it. So I was actually in Orlando Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday morning. Mr. Joe Everest in the house. Good to see you. I was actually out there speaking to roofers. And it was funny because, man, these guys take customer service to a whole new level. And being at this conference and getting to listen to this, I really did. I enjoyed the heck out of it. But the cool thing about it is getting to work with them, getting to talk with them, teaching them about social media, about what I'm doing, not just on YouTube, but YouTube, LinkedIn, everything that I'm doing on all the social platforms, and really how good it's been. So, man, I'm loving it. I'm having a good time at it. And the cool thing is, man, getting to teach new people how to do it. I'm going to jump over in the chat real quick. Just say, I see Big Mitchum in here. How are you doing? Amber Mendoza and Will Rosebrock. Good to have you both in here. Got my moderators going. I love that. That helps so much. Got the Nightbot killing it. And Liz, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell to stay up to date on Roger's new videos. Absolutely. And we got a good one out today. I've already got a ton of comments on it. Pretty funny. Man, we got somebody from Canada in here, Alberta, New Zealand. Nice mustache. I love it. Absolutely. Thank you. Dang, it's great. What are we talking about? The shirt? Man, I got a gray shirt on today. Is there a problem here? I like it. Let me see. Sweet Caroline. Man, you got people from all around here. Yeah. Joe's looking for orange. Don't you know it, brother? All right. I'm going to jump over into the forum real quick just because we've already got some cool questions and stuff going on over in here. But I am going to hit right here. Oh, yeah. Forum is filling up quick. Guys, if y'all got questions, jump over into the forum. Let's say hello to everybody. Let me get in here and start knocking out some questions. And literally, I mean, well, look, I mean, you see comments, see stuff like that. I'm great with it. You want to stop me and say hello to somebody? I'm good with it. Give me a cold sip of water here before we get going. Says, Roger, you have a Hulk Hogan mustache. No, he's got a Roger mustache. Make sure we get this right. I'm playing. That's pretty funny, though. Okay, so here we go. Nick says, are you straight, bisexual, or gay? No, I'm straight, happily married. My boss is my employer. But, you know, I'll tell you what, I must be... I guess it's hard to tell for some people because I get a lot of guys say, man, you're kind of hot. And it's like, okay, thank you. That's kind of funny, wasn't it, Will? All right. Caleb says, not sure what trade he's in. Would you recommend plumbing as a career? And I love getting this because absolutely. And it's funny because this is one that I get a lot. It says, do you really recommend plumbing? And I see so many people that get in here and leave comments that, you know, they hate plumbing. They really think that plumbing is a bad career. They think this and that. And I got to tell you, man, if you're doing it right, I do. I love what I do. You know, I talked about being in Orlando last week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, came home Saturday morning. Sunday afternoon, I drove to Oklahoma City to do, basically it's a consult job. They're having some leak detection problems, having some breaks. Man, I've shot lots of video while I was there with my GoPro and my phone. And I got to tell you, I want to say welcome to Brandon Gamble. Good to have you in here. Got us a new member to the Tuber Turds. And guys, being in the Tuber Turds is really pretty cool. I got to tell you that. You know, the last half of the day, we're going to start doing this every day or every week. The last hour is going to be the chat for members only. And, you know, the reason being there's a lot of people that jump in and they're like, man, I had a question. I had a comment. I wanted to talk to you. I wanted to get more in depth with you. That's what the last hour is for. And it's for me to really help the members out and make sure they get the information that they want. It's hard to get in here and just answer a million questions. I tell people, look, we've got the form. A lot of people don't want to go the form. They just want to put stuff in the comments. And you know what, guys, I'm not going to answer all the comments. I'm going to answer questions in the form, and then I'm going to roll over to the comments after it's members only, just to visit them and talk and see if I can go in more detail with people. But Caleb, look, I think plumbing is one of the best careers out there. It's been wonderful for me. I was just a high school graduate. I didn't go to college. I didn't do anything like that. And what I did was literally, I worked my way up through the trades. I did, since I was in the union, I was able to take some construction management courses. I was able to pass the UA STAR exam for plumbers and pipe fitters. So I got 32 college hours for that. And then whenever I went up to Ann Arbor, to Ypsilanti to go to the instructor training program, I got some college hours there. But I mean, man, the things that I've done to help improve my life, I did by just being a hard worker and wanting to be the best worker. So, man, Caleb, if this is something you're even thinking about, I would say jump on it. I really think plumbers are going to be making about $100 an hour about 5 years from now. And I know that sounds funny, but it's really true, because I think that they say about 10%, 20%, and God, actually the number I think is even higher than that now that I think about it. I'm trying to remember the percentages, but they're saying, look, in the next 5 years, let's say half the plumbers are going to retire because we're getting older. And they say that only 10% are getting into the trades that used to be. And I got to tell you, that's going to create a supply and demand that is going to make plumbers worth a freaking lot of money. So, man, great time to do it, Caleb. Jump on over there. It's wonderful. Lucas says he's an electrician. Have you ever worked with cars or repair? How did you learn to be a plumber? Lucas, and that's another, I love these questions, not because here's the deal. I'm lucky. My father actually had me help him work on cars when we were growing up. And when I say help me, it would start out when I was younger. I'd help pump the brakes so he could bleed the brake lines and things like that. But then literally it got to be, okay, we're changing the brakes. We'd get out there and he'd make sure I had everything and say, okay, I'll be back in a little bit. And it was a job for me to do. And it's really funny because I learned so well that way. And the cool thing about it is I remember Will coming home one day and Will needed a new radiator. And man, we drove down, got one or ordered it or whatever we did. Got back and I'm like, man, you got all the tools here. You got this, you need to do this. See you in a little while. And I go back in the house and his mom's like, hey, are you going to go out there and help him? I'm like, why? And she said, well, he's never done it. I said, you know what? He's going to learn. And man, it's a good way to do it. And it was really good for me. I know Will knows he can at least change a radiator. I don't know if he really wants to work on cars or anything, but yeah, he's shaking his head. And don't get me wrong, I don't either, but I know that I can if I need to.
Luckily, the engine bay in 97 Silverados is pretty big, so it's easy to get in there and work on it. Yeah.
Could you do it on your car today?
No way.
Yeah, it's like tighter than a frog's butt. And that's watertight, in case y'all didn't know. So, you know what? All I'll tell you is, Lucas, yeah, I can work on cars. I don't love it as much as I used to, but I'm still good at it. And man, it's something that I think helps me because I do feel like I'm slightly mechanically inclined, but I know a lot of people in plumbing that aren't. Man, they can barely tie their shoes, but they're really good plumbers. So it's something that I really think just about anybody can do if they just really want to. Hook says, what is the hardest clog to get out besides the concrete? It really depends. Roots can be bad if they've got in there long enough and they're really packed in. What? Orbeez? Yeah, Orbeez are a pain. If y'all saw the video that went up today, let me know. Because I'll tell you what, we've already got a ton of great comments on that. Pingable says, Professor something fan. Hi, new to the channel. I am dad. I'm a dad, I guess. Man, welcome to the channel. Look, I love it when we get new people, especially from all around the country. It is so cool because, and I say around the country, and literally I meant around the world, because we get so many people, from everywhere, from the UK, from Sweden, from Iceland, from Africa. We have got people in from all around the world, and I think it's amazing.
Can I send you a good question I found over here?
Cool. Absolutely. Yeah. Anytime you find one that's just like, okay, you really need to see this one. Can you use social media to build a business from scratch? Man of meaning. And I got to tell you that was literally part of my conversation in Orlando. And I did 4 breakouts this week. It was wonderful. Yes, you can. If you're good at what you do and you can make videos teaching people and engaging with people. And that's one big thing that I talked this last week. Is it's not just about coming up with great content. It's about engaging with your community. And when you do that, man, it works. Ryan, how you doing in here? Good to see you. So what I'll tell you is, and man of meaning, like number one, I love the yin yang. I've got a tattoo on my leg of the yin yang. Here's what I'll tell you. You can grow a great business by being a good social media person. And I didn't even say great. I just said good. If you'll learn to communicate with your people, talk to them, give them value. And it's funny because I heard a big YouTuber talk at this conference, and he says, I go through, I explain what we do. I do this, I do this, I do this. And at the end, he says, and I always tell them, hey, if you need something like this done, give me a shout, give me a call, and I don't even do that. It's like, look, if y'all want to find me, you're going to find me. And when I say y'all, if anybody watches my video and they need a service that we provide, they can find me. That they can search me by name. They can go, there's a lot of different ways they can try to find me, but it's not very hard. And my whole thing is, I really think that it's a great way to build a business. Because you become the person that the people want to communicate with, want to talk with, and you become a trusted advisor to them. And when you can do that, it is everything. No bull roofing, there it is. See? Okay, back over into the forum. Well, that was a great one. Can you use social media to grow a business? Dude, you can use social media to blow up a business. And I mean, really make it take off good, strong, and do well. So, Cliff, I'm assuming. I'm interested in studying for becoming a plumber, and my one question is, how long will it truly take, and is it a good paying job? I will tell you this. I have, and I've talked about this before, I've probably made over $100,000 a year since 1999. If I ever had a year that was under that, it wasn't much under it. Or if it was because I was off for a shoulder injury or something like that. But the thing is, to be honest, studying to become a plumber is good. You know, we've got links to study guides that are like Q&A, and then there's an illustrated study guide. There's a bunch of good stuff. And I think we've got links to it always in our different things. The cool thing about it is I literally think that learning is a great thing. And remember, we didn't have this when I was a kid. So, I mean, you only learn from the plumbers you worked with. Guys today have it amazing because there's so much information. I mean, look at somebody I really think could probably just watch all the videos that I do and do the things I say to do in the videos and could probably go past the plumbing exam. Now, the shop work may be a little more difficult. Maybe you need the plumbing course or something to learn how to do a lot of that. But I truthfully think that people can learn so much just from watching videos and figuring out how to do it. It's really interesting, but I think it's a possibility. So, and I don't know why Jordan, what I was going to say there, I just happened to look over because the bot hid your message for a minute. Look, I'm working on something where I'm going to start up a group and do an online course to teach them how to do social media. I had a lot of roofers this weekend pull me aside and ask me if I would do something to help teach them, because, you know, man, I have spent about $47,000, and me and Julie added it up one day. I've spent about $47,000 learning social media. And we go through and we look at it and we say, you know, it'd be so easy to teach people to do things the way we do it. It's just, it's very time consuming. It takes a while. But what I will tell you is that not only has it blown up the business, we now have a corporate sponsor, as I'm sure you can see the Ferguson logo over my shoulder. We have a sponsor. We have people advertising on our channel. We have a lot of subs. We're getting a lot of views. And life has just really been amazing for us. And it's, I think, due to the fact that we try to give value away. And don't get me wrong, if I do a course, it's not going to be free because I'm going to have to be up here, you know, at least a couple of hours every night that we do it and put it all together and put everything in. There's a lot of work to it, but I truthfully think that somebody will be able to go through this course and do exactly what I'm doing. Set things up to where they can use social media to build their content and grow. And the cool thing about it is it's going to be amazing because this is evergreen content. It's marketing. It's not advertising. And that's what I teach plumbers and tradespeople how to do. Yeah. And Joey's right. Less than a college education. Jump to the next question. Make sure I got that one right. Okay. Yeah, remember, guys, if y'all want your questions answered tonight, please go over and put them in the form. Just click on it up in top. Go over there. Got another Roger in here. I love it. First, you have a great name. I completely agree. You do too. Isn't that amazing? We have that in common. We both have a great name. Will, I'm sorry you don't. Don't mean that bad. I'm going to hear that from his mama later. You know, the neat thing about it is we're always hiring. But I'll tell you this, I'm a hard guy to work for. We hire for character, and we've got testing that helps us find out, is this a high quality caliber person? And I'm not saying you're not. You got a name like Roger. You're probably great like me. Why are you laughing at me? Yeah. He's laughing so hard he can't even talk into the mic. You know, the funny thing is, though, I truthfully think that trying to become the best plumber you can be is a big deal to me. I want people that have that same attitude. And it's not just studying. Sometimes it's just working your tail off. And Julie laughs at me because, I mean, guys, I can work almost around the clock and be very focused. And I'm not saying that I don't get tired or anything like that. But, okay, Julie, Roger's the name of Kings too, just king of plumbing. Your mama's funny, ain't she? Here's the deal. Yes, we're hiring. I'm always looking for the very best plumbers, and I'm always looking for the very best apprentices or people that want to be. And man, I want people that are hungry, that want to learn, that want to be the very best. And Roger, and that's a good way to put it to you. Man, we're looking for quality. We're looking for character. And yes, we're always hiring. So not a bad deal. I saw one in here. Oh, currently pursuing my master's degree, but I love being a plumber's helper. You know, man, I tell you what, there's nothing wrong with a master's degree. There's certain things you need to go to college for, but I'm telling you, man, it's not anything that everybody has to do. You can be a plumber or a roofer or electrician or an HVAC tech and still become a millionaire. It is really, it's kind of cool. Next one is here from Caleb. Caleb says, nice meeting you at the roofing conference. What is the low-hanging fruit to start game plan for social media? Truthfully, and I talked about this in my breakout sessions in Orlando, LinkedIn is the easiest place. But LinkedIn is the easiest place because literally you can start creating good content on LinkedIn. You can make a video, you can write an article, you can do a post, you can do a lot of different things. And you can reach out to people on LinkedIn and literally connect with real estate agents, connect with people that can introduce you to your customers. And doing stuff like that makes all the difference in the world. And wasn't Orlando great? I'll tell you what, man, I had some good food, had some good bourbon. Yeah, Orlando's nice. Matter of fact, a shout out to Morton's. Me and my videographer, Jeff, went over to Morton's for dinner. It was amazing. And I'll tell you a cool story. You talk about, can you build a business with social media? And I'm going to tell you a story because I normally don't talk about stuff like this because to me it's kind of funny. But Saturday, what night was it? I want to make sure I get my night right. It wasn't Saturday night. I got there Wednesday, went out by myself. Thursday night, I needed to go get a clicker for a PowerPoint presentation. So went and got it. And we were leaving, and there was a really lit up restaurant out in the parking lot. And I told Jeff, hey, let's kind of walk out here and see what this is. And it was like a Korean or a Mongolian grill. And I was like, you know, man, that doesn't sound like what I'm in the mood for. And he says, well, there's a Morton's down there. And he had never even heard of Morton's. Me, I'm one of these people, when I go out of town, I don't like eating at chain restaurants because I want to go someplace that I can't get here in the Dallas area. And I said, that's Morton's. They're everywhere. And he looks at me and he says, well, I'm from Lafayette. There's not one in Lafayette. And I'm like, you know what? Okay, let's go. So we go in, we sit down, we order, we're eating dinner, we're having a drink. And the bartender was real nice, real friendly. But all of a sudden, the manager comes around. Really nice guy. And I wish I had my phone plugged into the video where I could pull it up and show y'all. But literally, it was fantastic because he comes around and he's sitting there, he's looking at me, and he's got a mask on, and I don't because I'm eating. And he looks at me and he says, I know you from somewhere. And I just kind of giggled. I said, I said, do you ever watch YouTube? He says, I do. Do you do plumbing? And I said, as a matter of fact, I do. He said, oh my gosh. He said, I told Diane that. He says, oh my gosh, I watch your videos. And she come around, she says, you're the plumber on YouTube? And I'm like, yes, ma'am. She says, I've watched your video about unjamming a garbage disposal. Is that right? I said, very well could be. She says, yes. She says, oh my gosh, you've helped me. She says, isn't it funny? Because remember, I'm 800 miles from home. And here I am in a restaurant, sitting there. And I mean, literally, when we walked in, we sat down straight at the bar. We didn't talk about a lot of stuff. Now, I've got my shirts on. And on the back, they say YouTube and LinkedIn and all that. But literally, these guys weren't looking at my shirt. They were looking at my face like, look, we know you. And until we talked about it and got into it, they didn't know it was me. But once I did, it was literally crazy because then man, we talked. It was wonderful, communicated. I asked them, I said, look, can I come around there? Can we take pictures? And we did. And it was really, really neat. But then my photographer went out to smoke a cigarette. We were getting ready to leave. So he went out. I took care of the check. And when I walked outside, there was literally a lady and her husband sitting right outside the door. And she looked up at me and she says, I've been telling my husband that you're the plumber on YouTube. Is that true? And I just started laughing and I holler at my videographer, Jeff, and he literally comes over and he's like, I heard it. I said, no, I want y'all to tell Jeff that again. And the girl turns around and says, look, I've been telling him, I think that's the plumber that I've seen on YouTube. Guys, we weren't there 30 minutes, maybe an hour, and 3 people recognized me from YouTube. So think about what you can do in your business. Think about if you did social media, and it doesn't have to be YouTube. It can be LinkedIn. It can be Facebook. It can be anywhere you can get seen and get people's attention as long as you're delivering a good message. And that's one thing that was neat about sitting there talking to them. It was phenomenal. And it's kind of neat. So I want to say something because I looked down in this comment. It says, hey, Roger, I'm a pipe welder from Scotland, and I can't stop watching your content. I don't want to be a plumber, but I appreciate a man who loves his trade. Keep it up, man, going from strength to strength. Man, I love it. Thank you very much. I do love what I do. And I love talking about it. I love having a good time. I saw that just pop up there. Czar, thank you very much. Czar's the currency. Dion Paltgeister, how are you? Good to see you in here as always. It says, hi, when you solder or braise copper lines, do you heat the copper to melt the solder or braise, or do you melt it with the torch or both? Dion, that is a great question. And I know we've got a video on brazing and on soldering, but I'll tell you what I normally do. If I've got 2 pieces of pipe and the coupling, let's say, and there's a lot of people that tell me you're doing it wrong, but I've always done it this way and it works. I always heat the pipe first because I want the pipe to swell just a little bit. Heat makes things expand. So it swells till it swells up inside the fitting, then the fitting swells with it. And what that does, it keeps anything from moving. But then I draw the heat. Like if I wanted to apply solder over here, I'd put the heat over here and let capillary action suck it over to it. So I don't use the torch to heat the solder or the brazing rod. I literally heat the fitting and get the fitting hot enough that it will suck that liquid up into the center of it, which is really the way you want to do it. And man, keep your torch moving a little bit because you don't want to keep your heat in one space so long that it burns the fitting or does anything like that. So, and I hope that helps. Thank you very much. Saxon has a question. What causes sparks in the 3-phase contactor when you start it? Man, I'm going to say either it needs to be clean, it's not lined up right, there's something wrong. I am a plumber, not an HVAC tech, and I don't know if you're a roofer. I want to scroll down here. Yeah, it says you're in plumbing. Okay. It could be a lot of different things, but it just may be that it needs to be changed out. I'm a certified HVAC tech, y'all. I just don't do a lot or any HVAC. So sorry about that. I'm got over here reading comments. I don't do any HVAC work at all. I am a certified HVAC tech. I never really got into it because I wanted to focus on plumbing and grow it. The reason I got my HVAC certification is I thought eventually one day I might do that and grow that way. Eric Crenshaw, I appreciate it. So it does. It helps a lot. Big Mitchum says, Roger, have you ever felt like quitting as an apprentice? If so, how did you motivate yourself to keep going when the jobs were shitty and hard on the body? Here's the thing, and it can still be hard on the body. This community that I went up to in Oklahoma City today to work on, I've actually got to go back either later this week or next week. I'm going to be crawling around 8 hours a night under trailer homes, modular homes, to listen for leak detection. And it's a lot of fun. I still enjoy it. But I will walk the property at night, and I can normally get under 50 to 60 homes a night, maybe 70 if I'm really getting it. So imagine almost a 60-year-old man getting down, crawling around under houses with leak detection equipment, listening to the lines, getting out, making notes, and moving along. It's fun for me. I enjoy it. As an apprentice, I worked harder to learn, and that's why I say y'all have got more tools at hand for y'all today. And the whole funny thing is, literally, you can learn what you want to learn, and that's going to help you grow faster. And that's why we're talking about putting together the plumbing school. We've already got it started, but the plumbing courses to teach people the very basics. What do you need to get in? Do you get in and do how to read a tape measure, know what tools are, know safety equipment, know about glasses and fall protection and this and that. What all do you need to know about? And get in and learn and think about it. The faster you become a better apprentice, or the faster you become a revenue creation machine for your company, if you're a residential service company, the more value you bring to them, the more money you can make. And that's what always kept me motivated and going. I knew that I was working on something cool that I really wanted to do. And I do. I mean, I love what I do. I thoroughly enjoy it. Lars Johnson says, how to fix parts or get gunk out of the drain when you can't reach. Okay, how to fix parts or get gunk out of the drain you can't reach. I don't know what really you mean by your question. To get stuff out of the drain, we've got videos where we've done we've literally taken a P-trap apart. You can run a sewer machine through it. You can run a hydro jetter through it. And we did a video just the other day of the drain cleaning machine by Rigid, the K9 102 R204, and they even make a 306, which is the big daddy. So, man, there's all kinds of stuff that you can do. Fix parts. Guys, after you've done this long enough, you figure out how to fix just about everything. And that's what makes it really pretty cool. Mr. Elijah says, how do you best deal with toxic, unprofessional coworkers? Not as a boss, but a coworker under the same boss. Try to build relationships with people. Try to communicate with them. Try to help them get better. And I know it's funny, but the bad thing is become the best you that you can be. And when you do this, it doesn't matter how good or bad or anything like that they're going to start respecting you whenever they figure out, look, you're good at what you do. And I know that sounds crazy, but as a coworker, most people want to be around the very best people, and they want to learn from the best people. And when I got in the union, people didn't like me just because I'd come up open shop. Luckily for me, when I was coming up open shop, I worked with some of the best plumbers that I've ever known, and probably even better than most of the union plumbers I ever worked with. But They had a great attitude. They had a great mindset, and they always believed in doing things right. And what I will say to that is the way that I became good in the union and the way that I got along with my coworkers better was I always tried to outperform them. I wanted the quality of my work to be something that they could always talk about. And I've got to tell you, I really think that that's a good way to do it. Always try to outwork them, always try to do better work. But then, man, talk to them, communicate, ask them, hey, man, are you having problems with that? Can I help you? Try to be the person that you can be to help them grow. Yeah. Matthias says respect is earned, not given. And man, if you can earn their respect, they will. They'll communicate with you, talk to you, and all kinds of cool things. It makes it kind of nice. Gabriel Brown. What's your record unclogging time? Also, can you do the worm? I can't do the worm. I'm not a big dancer. Ruan says solid advice. Gotta love it. Looky there. Ruan, thanks for the super chat, brother. Here's the thing. Record unclogging time. I mean, I've probably unclogged a drain in, under 2 or 3 minutes because it was literally right by the two-way cleanouts, and that made it great. Can I do the worm? No, not at all. It's not how long it takes you to unclog it. It's, did we unclog it? Did we run a camera? Did we explain to the customer what's going on? Did we talk to them about what we found? Things like that. It's not just how fast can you get it done. It's about once you get to the job, doing a presentation, let the customer see the value in what you do. I mean, think about it. If you're a flat rate pricing company and you charge $475 and they're like, Roger, you did that in 2 minutes. Yep. Sometimes we get lucky. Well, that's not what they want to hear. Well, Roger, I don't want to pay you $475 for doing 2 minutes worth of work. You need to get in and do everything that you can to make it all better. Ruan, Julie's been talking about you, brother. You're in trouble. Next one is Johnny. Johnny says, have you ever heard of Dorset? If not, then please search it up and give Dorset a shout out. I don't know who Dorset is, but unless you're Tony Dorset, and yes, I've done security with you and watched you play football. So Matthew says, what's the worst plumbing job ever and the dirtiest you ever got from a job? Matthew, that's a pretty easy one. Worst plumbing job I ever saw is the one we did the video, worst plumbing job ever. Although we have crawled under houses and seen, cast iron pipes that were leaking, that weren't supported properly and sagging and a lot of different problems. But just the worst ever is the one that we did the video where they've got open door pipe going, just hanging below the ceiling all the way through the house. And then I think you're right, Joe, it doesn't. I think there's one marked other, or I'm not sure what trade I'm in. That's pretty funny. So the dirtiest I ever got is whenever I was an apprentice in the beginning. I was in a ditch filled with raw sewage and literally trying to put a repair coupling on a CT, a shear band. And, it was waist deep or whatever, and I'm bent down, and the backhoe had hit a piece of pipe. It had broke. They were able to reach in there and get it cut, and we had cut another piece and put it down in there. So I had that on there and trying to slide it out to get it fixed. And that's probably the dirtiest I've ever been. As for mud, I mean, I've been covered head to toe in mud doing all that. So it's definitely a lot of fun. And the good thing is, luckily for me, I don't mind getting dirty. It doesn't bother me at all. Don't get me wrong. I really don't enjoy just getting poop on me, but I'm not one that's going to freak out and run and hide. And I'll get to that. Yes, sir. One more here. Bryston says, hey, Roger asked the previous live stream about school courses. You said it's good for experience. However, due to COVID-19, unable to do courses like that. Would part-time jobs in hardware stores give the same experience, especially if they have dedicated sections like plumbing? Here's what I'll tell you. And look, Preston, I love the fact that you're trying to get in and get involved with it. I have nothing against a hardware store that has dedicated sections if you can get in that section. And what I mean is, just because you go to work at a store doesn't mean they're going to let you work in the section you want to work in. As for courses, I completely agree. It is really hard, right now to go to a school that may not be open. I would contact a PHCC in your area and see if they have any companies that are hiring, if they're doing any training at the time, and what the possibility of getting in there is. I want to say thank you again to Ruan Marino. Says, Roger, what was it like when you first started? Did you ever have fear or doubt in uploading videos or anything in business? And the answer is every day. And man, I love that, Ruan, because Julie and I talk about this a lot. When I went to my first social media conference, it was because our business was struggling. We needed to find a way to make our phone ring, and it wasn't happening. So what we did is I told Julie, look, I want to go to a social media marketing conference. I went, I started learning, and remember, I'm trying to make my phone blow up. Well, man, my phone started blowing up while I was at the conference. Unfortunately, it was Julie, and she was calling to tell me we may not be in business when you get back. And it was literally that bad. And I knew that I had to learn social media. And it is kind of scary knowing that you have to do something and your business depends on it. But also, I tell people, if you're going to start a business, you treat it like it's your child. Would you give that child to somebody else to take care of, to raise, to grow, to feed, to do whatever needs to be done? And I love the fact that I truthfully think I treat it like a child now. It's like, look, I'm going to do whatever I can to make this work, to make it happen. And what would you do for your child? Would you learn things? Because I had to learn all new things. And I talked about that in the conference this weekend, or this last week is, I literally had to figure out how to use social media. And when I went thinking I'm going to learn how to post better on Facebook. I never thought it'd be me getting in front of the camera, but it's things that I had to learn. So when I first started, it was rough. You can go back and look at some of my first videos. I remember Will walked in about 6 months ago. He said, hey, do we want to take a lot of these old videos down? It's like, you know what? Let people see what I was like. It doesn't bother me. Now, we probably need to redo a lot of those videos because if they get found today, people aren't going to like them. But the neat thing about it is, Ruan, it was kind of tough getting started in the beginning because I had to figure out how to do this, and I literally didn't know anything at all about it. So it's all been a big learning curve, but I think I've learned and grown and done pretty well. So thoroughly enjoyed it, and man, I love what I do. The fact that I can turn on a camera and teach people how to make more money, how to fix their plumbing, how to be a better tradesman, how to do this, how to do that. Man, there's a lot of things that I can do, and I do. I thoroughly enjoy it. Yeah, you can always throw them up. Mr. Lyles Lunsford says, have you ever been shocked while plumbing? Yes, and it really pissed me off because that's why I became a plumber, not an electrician. The only time I've ever been shocked is literally from crawling around in an attic, and there were some bare wires that, some electrician did a half dimwit job. But yeah, I mean, I crawled around, I was wet and sweaty and crawled. And I mean, literally it got on me, and it lit me up. I've been shocked crawling around in a crawl space under a house too. So Miles, it can happen, even though we're plumbers and we think this is why we got into the trade, so we'd never get shocked. It literally, it can happen at any time. The good thing is, normally when it happens, it's so quick and it's just like, oh my gosh. and it's just enough to surprise you. And Miles, you're right. It hurt like a big dog. Lyndon Smith says, sorry about that, got kind of loud there real quick. Lyndon Smith says, with plumbing, gas fitting, and drain laying, what one should I do first if no companies offer all three? Lyndon, here's what I'll tell you is find out what you can get a job doing. Those of y'all that have not taken my free mini course, I started the free mini course just to teach people about the different types of plumbing. And I did that because I've interviewed a lot of plumbers. And we're working on starting a new YouTube channel called The Trade Talks. If y'all hadn't seen it yet or heard of it or anything, jump over and subscribe. I think we've already got like 200 subscribers. And we don't even have the first video up yet, but we're working on it. And literally the whole thing is, when I interview plumbers, I always ask them, when you got into plumbing, did you know what kind of plumber you wanted to be? Meaning, did you know if you wanted to do residential or commercial? Did you know if you wanted to be new construction or service? Did you know if you wanted to be union or non-union? And they all laugh and they're like, man, I just knew I was going to be a plumber. And it was the same way for me. So what I would tell you, Lennon, is first, find out what kind of plumber you want to be and then apply for those kind of jobs. To be honest, plumbing, gas fitting, drain laying, and here in Texas, all three of those can fall in plumbing, meaning as a commercial or residential plumber, you can do all three of those. So that's what I would say to do. Figure out what kind you want to be and then apply for a company to try to find those type jobs. And it'll make all the difference in the world. But it'll also let you know what kind of, I ask questions in there to find out what I think it is you really would be good at. And I think that'll help more people stay in the trades just by learning to answer those questions and see why I explain it the way that I do. Marcus says, what do you think of machinists? Look, I think they're fantastic. I'm trying to come up with ideas for tools. And I love machinists because I can reach out to machinists and a lot of machinists can make them. I think that the way to do it is, I get an idea, and it's funny because I met a gentleman at the roofing conference that helps build tools for roofing. He's like, oh my gosh, I've never worked with a plumber. And I said, well, that's funny because I've got 2 or 3 different ideas about tools that'll help plumbers and make our lives easier. And literally, I think that we'll find a way to do something together because I think it's cool. William, if you go to my YouTube channel, go to the top right corner, it says free mini course. Doesn't it? Okay. And there's also a link in the description of this, probably of this one too, because it's always in the description. Yeah, William, just about any, seeing his name's William. So yeah, I got to be nice to him. Any course that, or any video that we've got, pretty much you can go down in the description below it, and there's a link to the free mini course. And I'm telling you, I really think that it'll help a lot of people. All right. Oscar says, what is the nastiest job you got? Well, I was a massage therapist once, and I had a big old hairy man come in. And I lost my fingers in his back. And it's like, okay, that's kind of, you asked. The nastiest plumbing job. Man, there's been a couple. One of them, literally, I got to tell you, I was a young plumber, had just started doing service, and I walked into a bathroom so bad I could not breathe. It was a stopped up toilet they were still using. There was toilet paper laying on top of poop, on top of toilet paper, on top of poop. And it was like overflowing the toilet. And I just called the company I work for. I said, hey, y'all got to come get rid of this. We had radios in the trucks then. And they said, well, Roger, you're the one there. You're the one that's going to fix it. I'm like, no, I'm not. And I literally drove back and said, look, I ain't doing it. So they got somebody else out there. It is what it is. Bender Rodriguez, I love your videos and I'm drunk. Gotta love it. I hope that's not why you love the videos. So anyway, Oscar, the good thing is, I guess I had a chance to redeem myself a few years later. I went to a house in a city that had a leak so bad that the city was going to shut off their water. And they called and they said, hey, look, we got problems. We need help. And my wife called the city and said, look, they really do. They need help bad. And we like to do what we can to help people. So I went over there to look at the house. And when I walked in, she's in a wheelchair and she's got a blanket over herself. And she says, look, I have oh God, I want to make sure I get it right. I believe her husband was blind and her son had, dementia or something, and they couldn't get out of bed. The house was tough. And she says, look, please don't judge me. I can't clean like I used to. I can't take care of the house. I can't take care of myself. She says, but we definitely need water. And I went in, I looked at her bathroom, and I felt sorry for them because there were piles of used toilet paper in the corner. The tub was running and dripping. The toilet was running. It was, the whole thing was pretty bad. And it was just like, you know what? After talking to the city, I knew that they really did need help. So we did. And it's tough, but you do what you can. And it's funny because either right before then or right after then, I'd had a dream, and I kept hearing a voice in my head that said, "Help the ones you can," and that's a lot of why I do what I do. And Brandon Crowder says, "What are your thoughts on BioClean?" Brandon, we just got BioClean in here a while back. I haven't personally got to take it out and use it and try it. I know that Julie's done some studies with it. I believe she's also given it to a couple of customers to try. So, man, it's something we're looking into. We've used a different product before, but, getting into the BioClean. And I met the guys from BioClean at a PHCC conference. So I think that's wonderful. And, man, they seem like good people. So we're going to try it out and see what we can do. The one and only amazing Miss Christina Smallhorn is in the house. How are you, sunshine? Great seeing you. I tell you what, y'all want to talk about a real estate agent that is killing it on YouTube. Christina Smallhorn is wonderful, great attitude, good at what she does. And, man, she is just a rock star on YouTube. So, Christina, good to see you in here. Yeah, that's it. Be respectful, guys. Come on. All right. We've got another one here in the... Actually, we got a lot of them. Got a lot of questions tonight. That's cool. Miss Renee Benavides says, hi, I'm in high school, and what do I do when the water in the toilet splashes a lot? Well, it depends. It depends on what's causing it to splash. It depends on, is it splashing when you drop off the kids in the pool? Is it splashing when you flush it? Good question there. Maybe if it's splashing, it may be too full at one point, and could be a lot of different reasons. I really don't know by what you mean by splashing, but you'll figure it out. Christina says, you got me to start live streaming again. I like that. I tell you what, I love my live streams. It is great. We thoroughly enjoy it. We get to talk to a lot of people, get to get some great ideas. And, man, it's just, we love that we're helping the community. I think it's fantastic. And I think it's neat that you're doing it. Christina, when are you live streaming? We'll tell everybody right here, right now. Alexander says, greetings from Poland. Did you have a chance to work on skyscrapers? Plumbing, sewage, and such systems differ much from less tall buildings. Here's the cool thing. Make sure I get the name right again. Alexander, here's the deal. Yes, I've worked on 52-story high-rises in downtown Dallas. I've worked on 3- and 4-story, just big spread out office buildings all around town. I worked on a 2 million square foot community hospital here in the Dallas area. I've worked on big heating water, chill water piping for a remodel at the airport. And I've got to work on some really cool jobs, and I love it. I thoroughly have fun. I love the commercial work, and that's a good thing. And that's why I talk about all the different things that I do. I've done residential. I've done commercial. I've done new construction, high-rises, apartments, homes. I've done residential, commercial, new construction, service, union, non-union. And that's why when I do this, man, I know what I'm talking about. And I love it because I've learned all the different aspects of it. So I really do. I think it's fantastic. Christina says she changed how she does her live streams, and they've been successful. Live stream on Sunday at 3:30 p.m. I will have to check that out. I actually caught D. Nemon on a live stream late last night. That was actually kind of neat. Next question. The Irishman. What are some good ways to stop pipes from freezing during the wintertime? That's a good question. That comes out Wednesday, right? How to stop pipes from freezing during wintertime?
Yep.
We actually just made a video about that for Ferguson. Talked to them about it. We are literally in that time of year where if you've got pipes on an exterior wall, you need to leave cabinets open. If you've got a frost-proof or something, you need to make sure there's not a hose connected to it. If you've got just a hose bib where the line sticks up out of the ground, you need to wrap it really well and cover it. Anything you can do to keep them warm. I know that if you go to Ferguson.com, they have a heat tape. You can wrap it in and plug it in, and it'll make sure that doesn't happen. So there's a lot of different things you can do. If you've got a line that's either on an exterior wall or runs through an attic or something like that, I definitely recommend that you leave it dripping. So there's a lot of different things that you can do, but it helps. Cameron says, what vans do you drive? We actually have the Ford. God, I'll have to ask Julie. I think it's the Ford Transits. They're extra tall, extra long. They're massive. We've got videos about them. And the big thing about it is, look, we love them and they work. I'm still over in the forum, guys. Remember, if y'all got questions, jump over into the forum. There's a link up top. You can go over there and put in your question. We are, God, believe it or not, I'm only like halfway through the questions, which is pretty cool. Cast iron pipe under old houses with crawl spaces. Did they put the pipe in when the foundation was built without flooring, or did they crawl underneath afterwards and put cast in? It's normally put in before the flooring goes in. So they may have the floor joists in, that they normally do. So you can go in and hang it from the joists and then turn it up in the walls, mark it and all that. And man, it definitely works. And that's cool. And really it's a good question, because now when you go in there now to work on it, you realize that literally sometimes there's not much room to climb around there. But if you were the plumber installing it, you can walk around in the dirt, straddle the pipes or straddle the joists and move around, pick it up, put a level on it, set your hangers just right. It's really pretty neat. And that's a good question, because that's one I know that I've never been asked here before. Chad says, in our house, the plumbing is copper and right above the breaker box. I was just wondering if that is safe. It's really, I mean, I'm going to tell you it's not, but here's my thing. If it's like a solid piece of pipe, chances are it should never start leaking. The other thing is that even if it's a solder joint, it shouldn't. But I think that there's part of the code now that says you're not allowed to have any plumbing within 3 feet of the electrical panel. You can't put it over it. It's got to be at least 3 feet out in front of it. And it may even be 6 feet, because you've got to have room to open the door, stand in front of it, and do a bunch of different things. So I'm not going to say it's Yeah, well, I'll say, man, it's not real safe because if there ever is a leak, then it could be a problem. Max Bradley says, is more of your time directed towards social media or actual jobs now? Man, Max, that's a good one because most of my personal time is towards social media or the plumbing company itself, not out on the jobs. I've got a service manager. I've got great plumbers. I've got great apprentices. We are literally in a good position because we're keeping our guys busy. My wife and my work wife, my CSR Amber, they run everything. They make sure everything happens and we're good. My service manager is supposed to be here today for the guys to take care of or to take care of the guys. I've got a service manager. That way I don't have to be in the field all the time. And the thing is that they need to have somebody that they can talk to. And I've always told them, look, you can still get in touch with me. You can still call me. You can still talk to me. And a lot of times they will. But it's also nice that if I'm doing social media, they've got somebody else they can call if they have a question. And that really does, that helps them out a whole lot. Finn Newton says, I'm 15 from the UK. Do you suggest for me to study the trade in college or get an apprenticeship? What is more likely to lead you to success? And really, I would say, Finn, it depends on how you study. It depends on how you learn best. The reason I say that is I learn from being hands-on. So I love the fact that I learned in the field, learning from other plumbers. And like I said, I worked with some great plumbers. But I would have also enjoyed going through the union and getting that formal education and participating in the apprentice competitions because they do that every year. And man, I'd have eaten that up because I'm very competitive. I always try to do the very best that I can. And had I been in the union where there'd have been competition and things like that involved in plumbing, that would have been fantastic for me. Alex is a roofer, says, just submitted a video that I had a lot of views come in and start getting excited, but I have to stay focused. Any tips on how to stay focused on the message of the channel? You bet. And this is really a great question, Alex, and I'm glad you jumped in here and asked that. Because here's what I'll tell you is my channel is about one thing. It's all things plumbing. And you can say, well, that kind of covers a lot of area, and it does. But I have to make sure that every single video that I do focuses on plumbing. Meaning, even though I get a bunch of roofers and electricians and HVAC techs in here and ask questions about the trade, when I make videos, I make them about plumbing. And if it's one that I may be talking about customer service or sales or being the best tradesman you can be, I always talk about the fact that how I learned this through plumbing. And man, people always come in and literally say, look, you could take the word plumbing out and put electrician in. Take electrician out and put in HVAC tech. Take plumbing out and put in roofer. We literally love being that person that is bringing people great value no matter what trade they're in. So my thing is, if you want to stay focused, number one, when you come up with your content, make sure that it is part of what your channel's about. And as long as that's your first step, and it is, then remember when you make that video, is your video about what your title says it is, what your thumbnail says it is, what other people watching the video is going to say, hey, this video was about this. And if you can do this, it's always a great way to look at it. And if you can do that, man, your message will always be on point. Cheese Nugget says 4. 4 Roger. You got to love it. Darren says, what is the worst plumbing job you did? We've kind of talked about those earlier. Having to climb down into a ditch filled with raw sewage, It's not for everybody. And, had I known a lot of things I know now, I probably wouldn't have done it. But at the end of the day, I had a job to do. And to get in there, show the other plumbers. Remember, I was an apprentice at the time, but show the other plumbers that I'm not afraid to get dirty. I'm not afraid to get in sewage water a little bit and put my hands down in there and work, and I got to keep my face out of it. But the big thing is, you've got to let people know, look, I'm not afraid of anything. I will do whatever it takes. And even though it was the worst job I've ever done, and there's a lot of people that may have said, yeah, I'll never do that, then maybe this part of plumbing is not for you. And that's why I have my free mini course to teach people about, look, and don't get me wrong, this is 35 years ago. Probably got a little bit different mindset now and attitude, and I look at the world a different way. So, lots of ways to look back at it and say, yeah, I probably wouldn't do that anymore. Logan says, it's been mentioned many times in the U.S. is seeing a shortage of young people going into the trades, as well as other non-trade blue-collar professions. What would you say could be responsible for this, and what solutions do you think could change this trend, or rather lack thereof of one? And I think it is a trend. I think that we do have less people getting into the trades. I think that what has caused it is the fact that for so many years now, high school counselors, high school teachers, high school principals, parents, everybody kept telling kids, look, if you don't go to college, you're never going to amount to anything. And I hate that people tell people that, because I know a lot of millionaire plumbers and electricians and roofers and HVAC techs that never went to college. And when I say a lot, don't get me wrong, it's not a ton, but if you want to be, you can. And don't ever let anybody tell you you can't do something. And I'm pretty bad about it, because when people tell me you can't do this, I'm like, yeah, watch. So my thing is, I think that for a long time, the system told people they had to go to college. And now we've got so many people that have gone to college that have so much debt over their head, they're never going to get out from under it. And the big problem is most of them don't get jobs in what they went to college for. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that everybody who goes to college has to work in what they went to college for, but I literally think that if you don't think college is for you, you don't have to go. And the whole neat thing about it is you're not going to take on that debt. You can literally go to a trade school or a union or something like that, and in about the same amount of time, what can happen is you can be out making journeyman wages. Right now, journeyman wages in our area are about $75,000 a year on the check, plus your pension, plus your insurance, plus all kinds of things like that literally make it add up. So there's a lot of things there that, man, that's great reasons not to go to college. So you got to look at it and see, what do you want to do and how do you want to do it? I want to say hello to Joseph Lalibert. Good to have you in here. I hope everything's going well. Thank you for the super chat. And he says, afternoon, tuber turds. And Roger, well, I'm a tuber. I'm the biggest tuber turd. Sorry I'm late. Hopefully everyone has a wonderful Christmas. And we definitely hope everybody does. The cool thing about it is, man, it's getting close. Julie's been setting up Christmas trees and decorating and wrapping presents and all kinds of cool things. So, Joseph, Merry Christmas to you, brother. I hope it's an amazing one. And I hope everybody has a wonderful Christmas. I know it's a little early to be celebrating, but we're getting there. Man, 2.5 weeks away. Quick.
Speaking of being away from something, we are 20 minutes away from
members
going to
members only. And guys, look, we say that because, man, at that point, I'm going to pull out my stool. I'm going to get comfortable. I'm going to sit and talk and visit and just make it a relaxed, laid-back, easygoing evening. If y'all want to be members to where you can hang around and use the chat, just click down there. There's a link somewhere to click and do what you want to do. What I can tell you is I like that, because I'm a member of a lot of these groups where literally I can go in and man, at that point, once it goes members only, it's laid back. It's easy going. It's a little more one-on-one, a little more personal, a little, hey, I got a question. I was thinking about this, and I'm not trying to get through so many questions so fast that I can't get to them. And the cool thing is, if people are asking me a lot of stuff in the chat, then the members, I'll come out of the questions over in the super chat. Over in the forum. So I'm going to go through the questions in the forum real quick just to make sure I get to as much as I can. And Logan, I hope that I answered that question good for you. I really do think that plumbers are going to be making a lot more money in the future, because I seriously think that there's going to be a lot less plumbers. Matthew says, our basement toilet is backed up. We used an auger. Plunger didn't work. To get some stuff out, the water drains slow, but the auger doesn't pick up anymore. Got any suggestions to possibly clear it up without the expense of a plumber? Here's what I would tell you is, number one, is it on a lift station? Could that be clogged up? Could the pump not be working? If it's in the basement, your basement toilet. So is it having to come up to go out? That could be the problem. So Joe Ever's still here. You got to love it. That's what I would check. Is it pumped or not? Because if it is, normally that's the problem. If not, you may have to pull the toilet and see, is there something down in there that you're not being able to get to? Jaden says, so for plumbing, what are your opinions on mobile home plumbing? I'll tell you what, Jaden, I don't know if you were in here earlier. I literally had to drive up to Oklahoma City today to look at a leak that was being repaired outside of, I work for a trailer home community that has trailer home parks all across the United States. And I got to tell you, that there's a lot of people living in them, and man, it's a home they can afford to start out in, and they're literally buying them to invest, and then they're turning around and selling them later. So that there's a lot of good things about it. I think it's wonderful. So it's, we can all afford to get started on a different way, but here's what I tell everybody about the trades. It's a great way to learn your way up. And no matter what your situation is, if you've got a bad situation at home life, you're not happy with the money you make at work, you're not happy going to college, there's a lot of different things like that. But the thing is, you can learn your way up out of it. Me, I learned my way up as a journeyman plumber or a master plumber that owned his own company. I've started learning social media, and I've moved myself up to a whole nother level because I'm not paying for advertising now. Those same companies are paying me to make videos. So it really is, it's pretty cool. Miles says, what is the dirtiest job, and have you ever had poop go in your mouth? I don't think I've ever had it go in my mouth. I really think I would remember that. But being in a ditch of raw sewage is probably one of the worst ones I've ever done. Will, we lost a camera. Okay. We're trying to figure out our cameras. We knew that we're juggling cameras around because we're trying to upgrade our cameras in here. But we've got one that has literally, now is that the same one I had in my office, or is that the R? No, it's the 7.3. Okay. And you might grab the R out of the deal and just swap it out real quick. And we'll see if it gets too hot. And there may be a setting where we're going to have to play with it to see what we can come up with. The cool thing about it is that luckily, man, we've got another camera. We're ready for it and trying to do different things. Already answered that one, so I'm going to jump up here to the next one. Brandon says, how bad is Taco Bell Tuesday to the pipes in my house? And how have the new vans been? I'll tell you what, man, the new vans are phenomenal. And Taco Bell's only as bad on your pops as you allow it to be. I've got a rock gut stomach, so I mean, I can eat pretty much anything in the world, and I'm going to tell you, not have problems. Julie will tell you otherwise. I can definitely tax our plumbing system at home, but it's nothing it can't handle. And the new vans, tell you what, guys, when you go from a 2001 van, 2001 used van that was 15 years old or about 15 years old when you got it, and don't get me wrong, man, they've been great for us. So thank you to Grant Speak. That's who I got them from. I've known him forever, one of my best friends on earth. And man, it was great having them, but to be able to upgrade to new vans, new big vans, stuff like that, I love it. And guys, I'll tell you, if y'all still have questions, go over to the go over to the forum, put them in over there. Will's changing the camera. He's not pulling up any questions out of the chat. I'm trying to jump back and forth, but I've still got 20 or 30 questions in the forum, so I'm still answering them over there. And then we go to members only in the chat in 15 minutes. So anybody wants to hang out and keep visiting and chatting and stuff like that, just become a member, and I think you'll love it. So next question from Justin. My company I work for always replaces sewers with ABS. What are your thoughts on ABS? You know what, Justin? I can't say much about it. I've only worked on one job, two ABS jobs in 40 years of plumbing. Everything is always Schedule 40 PVC, at least here in the North Texas area. And even Grant, who I was just talking about, I called him about it, and he said he had only seen one or two jobs like that, and he's been plumbing 40 years like I have. So, man, I can't answer much about it. What I will tell you is that I'm watching Will zoom in and out over here. I'm like, okay, wait a minute. That's kind of funny. Yeah, no, you're good. And we don't use ABS in the North Central Texas area. Is it possible that, they could do it, that it could go to it? Yeah. I don't know why it never has. And I've asked people before, what is the big difference between ABS and PVC and stuff like that? And man, PVC is what we've always used, and it's what we're always going to use. At least until somebody tells me I have to do something otherwise. Make sure I got this one right here. Yep. All right. Ryan says, is it okay for your house to not have septic and drain into a creek? No, that's really not good. And the reason I say that is that creek water probably goes to the water treatment center, which is the same place the other does. But, now what problem you have is that you've got fish, you've got people that swim in it, you've got stuff like that. You really don't want raw sewage down in things like that. And the animals go down drinking it. You don't want to make them sick. You really need a septic or a sewer system for everything to drain into. Mr. Everest says, with a slow draining shower, is it best to try to use the hair removing tool they sell everywhere or a chemical product? Joe, we never recommend a chemical product. I really don't think that they work that well. The little hair removing tool you're talking about, I like those. Also, the little drum snake that you can put on a cordless drill, we use those quite a bit for homes. And I'll tell you what, that they really work pretty well. A little cold water, kind of like that. Yeah, we really try not to recommend chemical drains for anything. Zach Abbott says, how much do you love plumbing? Man, plumbing has given me an opportunity to live the greatest life I could ever imagine. And I mean, even as just a plumber, before I ever worked for myself, whenever I was literally a plumber, and I don't mean a foreman, a superintendent, director of operations, anything like that. I literally, as a plumber, I bought an amazing house. I had a Jeep, a motorcycle, a truck, and I've always been able to pay my bills. Now, don't get me wrong. I've always liked working extra jobs. While I was a plumber, I was also a bodyguard. While I was a plumber, I was also a bartender. And I do things like that just to have money to blow. But man, I really enjoy being a plumber. I think it's great. I think it's a great profession. And I think it's something that, I could do forever. I love the fact now that I'm getting to teach people about plumbing and things like that. And I tell you, I fell into a career that I love, and I think it's wonderful. Christopher says, what do you think of pipe rehabilitation? If you mean getting off the pipe, I think you should. I don't know what you're calling pipe rehabilitation. What is it? CIPP, the liner, stuff like that. If that's it, I think that it can work sometimes, but I think that if you got a true break, nothing is going to do that except digging under there, straightening things up, and make it do right. All right. Carl says, do you have any merchandise? We do. We've actually got it. I don't know if if it's under this video. Normally it's under the video. It shows up. We've got t-shirts. We've got masks. We've got hoodies. We've got all kinds of things, and we're working on more. So we do. And man, it's actually pretty cool. I've got a mask that I wear. Of course, it's a good looking face. It has a mustache just like mine. God, I may have even posed for it. But what we do is anytime I put that on, it's hilarious. It doesn't matter where we go. People laugh. And what is the easiest job you ever did in plumbing? The easiest is literally got to be, unstopping a toilet, stopping a toilet from running, unjamming a disposal. There's so many easy ones. And that's what we're putting in our very basics of plumbing. It's not just the tools and how to use the tools and stuff like that. It's literally the, $107 to $300 jobs and things that needed to be done that anybody can learn to do relatively easy. And it's something that when they learn to do that, they become more productive for the companies they work at. Think about it. If you just started out in plumbing as an apprentice, but you knew how to change a cartridge, you knew how to rebuild a toilet, you knew how to change out a tub drain, things that if you went out on a job with another journeyman and y'all had multiple things to do, you're like, hey, look, I can do this and I can do this. And you can do it, man. It's not a bad deal. It makes you more productive and more valuable. And when you become more valuable, that makes you worth more money. And Tyler C says, is big plumbing paying you to say all that? To say what? That I think people can make a good living in the trades? I've been saying that for years, and nobody's paying me to say that. This is my way of helping people, Tyler. I truthfully think that there's a lot of people out there that have been told they have to go to college to amount to anything, and I think that's sad. I truthfully think that literally the big deal is there's a lot of people that don't even need to go to college. They can go straight into a trade. In 5 years, they'll be making probably twice the amount of money somebody getting out of college will be making. And they're not going to have to worry about all that financial debt. They're not going to have to worry about going to school for 4 years. And don't get me wrong, a lot of people, I think college is probably great for them. There's a lot of people I think college is probably a waste of a lot of money for them. And they're going to start off behind the 8 ball trying to play catch up. And man, I hate that. Peter says, any general advice for a new homeowner that has never had a septic tank before? Love your content. It helped me fix my sink leaking and your toilet running. Peter, man, yeah, great question. Number one, find out who takes care of the septic system. Find out how long ago it's been done, and normally how long they go in between having it pumped out, cleaned, serviced, whatever the case is. Plumbers, in most areas don't work on septic systems. They'll work on the on the plumbing from your house up to it, but coming out of it and going the other way, normally not so. I just looked down, want to say hello to Dan Jansen. Says, apprentice plumber in the Netherlands. Wanted to let you know I like your videos. Keep it up. Thank you very much. Matthew Koff says, the funniest memes you reviewed last week had a lady asking a plumber about her pipes. Funny, but has that situation ever happened to you? You know, I can tell you when I was much younger, much better looking, yeah, sometimes, you know, women will flirt with you and play with you, and I say play verbally. But no, I've never had anything quite as direct to the point as that. Chris says, what is your preference between a tank or tankless water heater? I really think that tanklesses are going to end up taking over because they take up less space. We're starting to figure out the biggest ROI is going to be observed by installing them in the beginning where you're not having to retrofit them. And I think it might make a huge change. I like tankless water heaters because if you buy one big enough that you can get enough flow going through it, it's going to be really, really good. You're going to save money in the long run, and you're going to have all the hot water you want. So I think that is so cool. That is Chris. And Owen says, how much do you earn approximately a year? Yep, that's a good question because Julie has me on a what's it called? An allowance. I earn $20 a week, and she tells me not to spend it all in one place. And she's pretty serious about stuff like that. You know, when you have a boss, you don't make near as much as you think you make, or as much as you want to make. And you know, the cool thing about it is I'm making more money now than I ever have. And a lot of it is because of sponsorships, because of video views, because of the content we're putting out. The plumbing company is doing better. And I mean, a lot better. And the neat thing about it is it's because I think I'm attracting better plumbers. So I earn good money. I earn 8 times more a year than I did last year, but I also have more expensive. I have a complete marketing team that I have payroll for and bonuses for, and I don't even know how many freaking computers and cameras and software and monitors, and I mean, Will sitting over here nodding. It's like it's ridiculous. And the neat thing is we're always trying to do better. I don't just want to be a good plumbing channel. I want to be a great YouTube channel. And we keep investing in it, trying to do things better. And it's amazing. Ryan Kosior says, what is that clock from? Where's that clock from in the background? My fiance wants one. And isn't there a link to that down in the description too? Yeah. Yeah, it Will says all the way towards the bottom. We get asked that one a lot. And it is, man. It's really cool. So look at that, 221,000 subscribers. That is just so crazy. Okay. Yeah, here in a minute, guys, we go to members only in the chat. So if you're a member, man, get in here, ask questions, comments. We can go deep on some stuff. If you're not a member and you'd like to sign up, there's a link down at the bottom. Just click on it and sign up. I'm going to keep,
I said that means I won't be able to chat.
Oh, man, bad. What about me? Do I get to chat or no? Or are you me right now?
I can chat as you.
Oh,
We'll
there
do
you go.
that.
All right. I didn't know if I was allowed to chat in my own deal or not. All right. From now on, it is members only, guys. And we just had a new member sign up. Want to say thank you to Matthew and hello. And members only mode is on. Only members of this channel can see messages. Also, they won't even see the messages. So you're part. Oh, send messages. Sorry about that. So, man, members, tear it up. This is your turn. And William can still chat. How do we do that, man? So Grayson, you should get your money back because Will's able to chat as a moderator. So back in the forum, that was a good question. How much do I earn? Not enough. Christina Smallhorn, the amazing, says, do you have to have your hot water heater serviced every year? You actually should. And the reason that I say that, I'm gonna try to sit down and get comfortable, see if that doesn't mess it up too bad. Cool. And I normally never sit down, but man, it's been a long week. Now you get the top of the monitor and all. See, man, y'all are so look at Will. Will is magic. Pretty cool. All right, so I'm gonna jump back over in here into the members real quick. Let's see, we have Joe Everest in here. Thanks, Editor Grayson. You know, man, Editor Grayson's my rock star. He does good stuff. WebWub, I'm still in because I'm a member. Nicholas, yes, you are. All right, so a question here. Christina, do you have to have your hot water heater serviced every year? Tankless, you should. Whether you have to or not is not critical. You should, because what's going to happen is the calcium and magnesium, the hard water starts building up in there. And if you don't flush it out, it takes the efficiency away from the water heater. And also it'll eventually make it where, well, that's a good camera right there. Man, that's the one. Oh, I'm looking at the other one. I thought, wow. I thought, wait a minute, that's not one I'm looking at. The thing is, Christina, and number one, I've got a video showing people how to do it. You can flush it with vinegar if you buy the flush kit. Cool thing about it is it literally, it'll make it last longer and it's going to make it more efficient. So doing that is going to help you save money each and every year. Next question. Sydney says, I'm in school for plumbing. What would be some tips for the future? My best tip, the most important thing I can tell you, is always try to be the best plumber you can be. And I mean that so much, because if you can become the very best, you're going to make more money. And I know it's not always about money. It's not always, money's not the reason for everything, but if you got a choice of being the best or just being mediocre, why not try to be the best, especially if you know that it pays off? So what I would tell you is, man, keep working hard at it. Always try to be the very best. It does. It makes all the difference in the world. Joshua says, what do I do when my bathtub will not drain properly? I did everything I could do. Well, number one, what is everything you could do? Did you run a snake down the drain? Did you take one of those hair retrievers in there? Have you gone underneath it and take the P-trap apart? I mean, what all did you do? And you may have to come back in the forum and answer that, Joshua. There's literally a ton of different things you can do. One of the biggest ones is to run a snake in through the overflow and clean it out that way and take care of it there. Joseph Lalibert says, did you and the message end up watching Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Followed by, I was watching this Milwaukee channel earlier today, which means yesterday, and they had a power snake cordless. Okay, that's pretty funny. And I have seen Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? In the Milwaukee channel. Have homeowners lied just to get your workers faster? You mean if you mean to get them to show up faster, homeowners will tell you whatever they have to tell you to try to get you there. It's kind of tough because they will flat out tell you whatever they want you to hear or whatever they think you want to hear that'll get them there. Nicholas, the neat thing about it is normally we try to squeeze people in as much as we can and get them over there. So we literally... Man, we literally do everything we can to take care of them. Not saying it always works. Not saying that they don't see a different way or want to try and BS you just a little bit more, but we do try. Joseph says, do you prefer cordless over corded? I love cordless. It's funny. I remember before cordless drills came out, I used to take a drill motor, cut a screwdriver blade off, put it in the drill motor, and I built a bunch of shelves, bookcase type shelves with that for a video store that my friend worked at. And man, yeah, I think cordless is amazing. You need me to change? Okay. So yes, Joe Evers says, saw this quote lately and it really resonated. If you believe that money cannot buy happiness, you just haven't given enough of it away. Man, isn't that the truth? Joe, that's really pretty cool. So I read one the other day too that said something like, if you believe that money cannot buy happiness, you just haven't spent it on the right kind of happiness. So it is kind of funny that there's a lot of different ways to look at it. At the end of the day, like it's not about how much money you make. It's about what you can try to do with it. And I like it that you put it that way, Joe, because if you're trying to make other people happy, man, you can do really, really good things. And to me, that's what it's all about. I was literally talking to a roofer in Orlando the other day, and he asked me, he said, why do you teach other tradespeople to do YouTube, to do social media the way you do it? What if somebody in Dallas called, would you teach them? And I said, absolutely. And they're like, why? Why would you teach your competition to do what you're doing? And I literally said, because Dallas has, 8 million people in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I can't get to all of them. And if I can teach somebody else to build a great community and help their people grow, why wouldn't I? And if I try to teach them to do it right, man, they're building a great relationship. So I think that's wonderful. I want to say welcome to Sulky86. We have a new member. I think that is wonderful. Glad to have you here. Now you can actually jump in here and comment. And I love having this to the members because, man, you can actually just slow down, chill, and relax and talk. Logan, thank you for the super chat. Keep up the good work, Roger. I love your channel. Logan, man, that's cool. Because this is why I do what I do. It's to literally, man, I think the trades are a great way for people to grow their business. Meaning you can branch off into other trades if you want to. And we've talked about that. We've talked about, would we want to go electrical? Would we want to go HVAC? Just recently I asked Julie, would we like to go roofing? So the opportunities are there that we can do whatever we want to do. But also with my channel, and it's funny because, somebody mentioned earlier about my channel and, the why I do videos or what I do. But the thing is, I get messages every week about people that got into the trades because they saw my videos, and it changes their lives. And that's why Julie and I came up with the thing about learning your way up. It's literally, it doesn't matter what situation you're in. If you're not happy with your life, you can learn to build a new life. And, people ask me that all the time about social media. It's like, look, Roger, why do you do what you do? It's like, you know what? I've found a way to try to help other people. And if I can do that on a more consistent basis and help them out, why not? I think it's cool. So, Logan, I hope that answers and helps you. Nikolai says, because of little of plumbers in Iceland, we have a joke about it. What's the difference between a plumber and the Grim Reaper? The Grim Reaper will show up on time. That is pretty funny. And I got a question then, Nikolai, I want to make sure. Okay, so if you have a shortage of plumbers, are plumbers making more money? Because that's what I've been saying for years now, is that, and especially since COVID started, but literally the past 2 or 3 years, I've been saying, look, there's such a shortage of people getting into the trades that I think plumbers over here, which right now plumbers in the union are making, and even service, are making anywhere from $30 to $50 an hour. I truthfully think it's going to be around $100 an hour in 5 years. I want to know what you think. Since there's become a shortage, has it made the cost for plumbers go up? Are plumbers making more money now? And are the service plumbing companies charging more money for what they do? Just asking. I got one more here. Joe says, if you could pick any other trade, what would it be and why would it be fence? And actually, Joe, look, I've built fences before. You can ask Will about it. Him and I built our fence, and that may be part of why he hates me. It's a lot of work. Man, we had the old post hole digger, and man, it's a job. I love it. And I'll tell you a neat story. My next door neighbors were replacing the fence between my house and their house, and they told me, "Hey, look, we need to do this." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. Let me know when y'all want to." Man, they had gone bought all the material, and I came home one day, and they've got new posts in, and they're already putting rails and even pickets up. And the funny thing is, it went like that. I mean, literally one post to the next, maybe a foot out of line. And man, they didn't care. And I walked back there and I looked at it and I'm just like, guys, look, yeah, if y'all will stop, I will finish this. And they're like, well, what do you mean? It's like, look, it's not straight. And they're like, well, it's close. It's like, no, it's not. So literally I told them, look, y'all bought the materials. I will supply the labor and we'll fix this and take care of it. And one of my plumbers, he was an apprentice at the time, I think, but one of my plumbers, I had him at the house the next day. We pulled those posts out. We took all those pickets down gently so we could reuse them. And literally, it was wild. We put all the posts up that day, let it set. All the next day had one whole side picketed, which I'm sure you could do a lot faster. But man, it was pretty cool. I love doing it. I'm pretty good at it. Anyway, kind of neat. Back over into the form. I already did that one. There we go. William says, is the mini course totally free? Yes, it is. 54 years old. Am I too old to start? How does the program course work? Briefly. It is literally all the mini course is, William, it's to help you figure out what kind of plumber you want to be. Do you want to be residential or commercial? Do you want to be commercial? Do you want to be residential or commercial? Do you want to be construction or service? Meaning, do you want to build new buildings or do you want to fix things? And do you want to be union or non-union? And it asks you a lot of questions to kind of help you figure that out. It is completely free for the mini course. We do have the very basics of plumbing. I think we've got 6 or 8 videos in there. We've got more that we're working on. That will end up with about 30 videos in it. And at 54, no, you're not too old to start. I've seen people get into the trades at 55. I think the oldest apprentice right now in Texas is 82. It doesn't work for me, but I know how he feels. Sometimes I feel 82. Anyway, man, you just go in there. It's a digital course. Go in, watch the video, listen to it, ask yourself some questions, and you'll figure it out. But yes, it's completely free. Alex Stevenson says, why is PEX becoming so popular? I'm in Australia and have never seen it before watching your videos. So, Alex, are y'all not using PEX over there? And the reason I ask is it's becoming popular because of the cost. The cost of labor to put it in, the cost of the material itself is cheaper than copper. It's cheaper than the copper fittings. It goes in faster, so there's a savings of labor there. So there's a lot of different reasons, but basically at the end of the day, it's because it saves people money. And I figured y'all were already using it in Australia. Y'all do a lot of things before we do. John K says, I went to the job and found DWV on a hot water heater hot side. They said a handyman did it for a great deal. What do you think about that? Oh, and the pipe busted. Well, yeah, it did. Number one, how was it DWV on the hot water side? Because DWV is normally 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches and bigger, 1.25 inches. And I've never seen an 1.25 inch water line unless maybe a commercial job. So what do I think about that? I think it's horrible. PVC is not made for 140 degree hot water. It's going to melt. It's going to bubble. It's going to break. It's going to do different things like that. Not a good way to go. Nikolai says, well, yes and no. Because of supply and demand, price has gone up per hour, but people are going for handyman instead. And often it's people who are not plumbers, electricians, or any type of journeyman. So often a small business guy's had to go and fix what they have done wrong. And Nikolai, we were fighting over here for our license for a long time, and we still are. As Texas plumbers, we literally need to remember to contact Governor Abbott, to contact our local senators and representatives, because that time is coming where we need to start fighting for our license again. But I'd always said, if it does go to a non-license or anything, I'm going to build a video marketing story based on that about, look, even though a license is not required, don't you want one to do things right? Sorry, I was trying to see what that big number was. My thing is, I definitely think that if they get rid of a license or licensing gets so bad that people call handyman, I'm going to start advertising about why it's smart to call licensed plumbers, what we're all trained in and what we can do, and why that's really beneficial to homeowners and the safety of their family. So I think that's huge. But yeah, PVC on a hot water line is not a good deal, ever. Justin Abel says, good afternoon, Roger. We have spoken a few times on YouTube. Sorry I didn't say in your last live stream, but I chose to go into new construction and remodeling of commercial buildings. My question is, what's the most expensive mistake you've made on a commercial job? Man, on a commercial job, I guess the most expensive mistake is I was running a total station crew, and we used a total station to lay out all the marks on the floor for the cores, for the pipe penetrations. And it was so we wouldn't have to core. It was so there'd be sleeves there. And the CAD department that actually gave me my points didn't take off for like a 6-inch brick ledge or wall on this particular floor. So every sleeve that was installed for a pipe to come up through it was 6 inches off. Not a good thing. Very expensive. Very big mess, but luckily at the end of the day, it wasn't my fault. But I took the blame for it because I was over the entire total station division. That can be expensive. But it all got fixed. Next question, because we're still answering questions in the forum. William G says, what is the scariest job you've ever done? Not because it was disgusting. Probably, just being up on like a 2-story roof, where maybe it's a little bit steeper pitch than I like to walk on. Other than that, man, that's about it. Maybe working on a scaffold in an elevator shaft when you're a lot of floors up, things like that, but nothing crazy. Cody Mackey says, have you met any rude people on plumbing jobs? Yeah, I got a neat story. Working on a job one time, me and this other guy were working, and all of a sudden he's getting wet, and from where he was, he looked up, and one of the laborer concrete guys is up on the floor above us, and he's actually urinating through one of those sleeves I'm telling you about, through a hole in the deck. And this plumber literally grabs the Sawzall and goes running up the stairs, and I go running after him. And when I get up there, I mean, he's holding the Sawzall like this. He's trying to stab the guy, cut the guy, and all that, and that guy's just trying to get away from him. And this guy he was a jerk about it. Not the guy with the Sawzall, the other guy. He's like, man, you know what? I just needed to go. And it's like, look, you can't go not knowing what's down below you. So, yeah, there's some jerks out there, but it's part of the world that we live in. We just got to deal with it. Joseph Lalibert says, what is a total station? Total station is literally a device that you set 2 points in. It can tell you exactly where it's based on coordinates, the northern and easterns. And you can literally lay out any point on a job site, and I think be within a 16th or a 32nd of an inch using a total station. A total station sets up on one point, then it sets up on another one, and then it knows exactly where it is in the world. And when it looks at this one and it turns this many degrees to this one, it shoots a point. It knows how far away it is from this one, how far away it is from this one, and then it knows where it is. And then you can tell it, okay, I want to go to this northern, this eastern, and it can literally tell you right where to go. And it is one of the coolest things for laying out a big commercial job. You don't ever miss, and it works. Jacob says, currently I'm working in a hostile environment with his manager. Should I talk to HR and try to fix the problem or find a new job? Here's what I'll tell you is Jacob, look, if you like the company you're working for, I would try to talk to the manager first and just say, man, look, am I doing something wrong? Is there a reason you don't like me? And see what he says. The only time I've ever had an apprentice that I was hard on, it was because I thought he could do a lot better. And not only that, I didn't think it, I knew it. He was on his phone all the time. He was playing games. He was doing crazy stuff. And my thing is, look, that's not what you're being paid for. And I'd be hard on him. But if he'd have come and said, hey, is there something I'm doing wrong? Some reason you don't like me? I'd be like, yeah. If you want to make it here, you need to do what's right. Try to go talk to them. And it's a good way to do it is not be confrontational about it. Just go up and say, man, look, did I do something to upset you? I feel like you don't like me. And see what he says. Talk to one of the other journeymen or apprentice that work under him. Maybe they're like, yeah, you know what? He always does that to the new guy or whatever it is. See what you can figure out before you just go to HR. And I say that if it's a company you like working at. If you don't like working there, man, start looking. But if you do like it, it may be worth checking it out. Paul says, hey, Roger, love the video, but when are you going to test the as seen on TV products? Paul, well, when did that video go up? Friday or Monday? Today. Went up today. We had the first one out today, Paul. You need to go check it out because it's a pretty good one.
And the response on that video was great. A lot of people said, keep doing stuff like this. So guess we got to keep doing it.
We do. We know that we've got some more to do. We've got more product, and you'll know from the results of this one, we need to play with this again. I've already had some people tell me they love the way it turned out. I didn't necessarily love it. So this is the next one. The Green Gobbler. So get it up here where y'all can see it. If y'all saw the as seen on TV, that's the one that we're going to test next. And man, I got to tell you, it says it's a drain opening pack. Yeah. I'll tell you what, I think I'm going to bet on the drain or the clog, but you never know. So yeah, Paul, it went up today. Check it out. Let me know what you think and leave us a comment in there. What? You held it up to this camera, but you were on that camera. Oh, was I? Here. Let's try that. And I looked at it and thought, man, that came in focus really, really good.
Did you hit the
I may have. Well, let me move it over here too, just in case. No, there. See, now I've had it on both of them. That's it though. Green gobbler. Got it still just as clear on the one you're on. There you go. Yep, that is it. And it says drain opening packs. So that's what we're doing, and that'll be the next one. The cool thing about it is, I mean, we're having fun doing this. As y'all can see from the product today, well, you tell me what you think about it. We really did have fun, thoroughly enjoyed doing stuff like that. And I get people send me messages. Matter of fact, I got a message on Messenger saying, look, I can't believe you threw this plumber under the bus. You did this, you did this. But man, at the end of the day, it's like, look, I'm just going by what people who watch my videos asked us to do because they had seen a video or a news clip and different things. But man, when we get asked to do videos, we do. We check it out. We find out all the information we can and go from there. Joseph Lalibert says, due to COVID-19, how do you sterilize your tools? We literally bought cases of the spray sanitizer, meaning it's like it smells like alcohol that was bought from a liquor store. It's actually the liquor bottles, like vodka bottles, that have been converted over to spray sanitizer. We got sprayers, we got everything for the guys, and we tell them, look, whenever you go in and you pull your tools out, please make sure that you're taking care of them before you either put them back in your bag or take them home or pull them out on the next job and things like that. So that's what we're trying to do. Nikolai says, we need to show people why we are the better choice. Absolutely. Like handyman screw up, they walk away with no liability. We do have coverage if something happens, safe for us as the homeowners. And Nikolai, that's kind of what I was talking about. We decided that, look, if something happens and we do go to non-license here in Texas, which, trust me, is going to be the worst thing in the world for the homeowners of Texas. But, if we go to that, that's going to become our new marketing ploy is, look, be careful because you get what you pay for. And if you want to call a cheap handyman, especially now that some freaking ding-a-ling politician in Texas decided to let anybody in the world be a plumber, which it didn't pass, so that's not what happened, but that's what he was trying to make happen. So we wanted to just make sure that if that did happen, we adjusted our marketing accordingly. Dan Jansen says, hey, Roger, have you ever been in the Netherlands? I'm an apprentice plumber in the Netherlands. Keep up the good work. I have not. It's someplace that Drew and I have talked about going. There's so many places around the world we want to go that we've never seen. But we really want to just to kind of, see what's going on and what's happening and what's up. And I am trying to do something here just for the fun of it to see what's happening. I want to, I don't want to do that. I want to go right here real quick. Oops. Sorry about that. I'm playing. I've got a computer in front of me here, so I'm kind of having fun. There we go, right there. So we are literally, I'll make sure that that's done. Perfect. Here's, wait, let me move that over there. Oh, I don't have another place to go, so I'll go right here for a second. There it is right there. Okay, just checking things out. So back in the forum, we haven't been in the Netherlands, but yeah, it's something we've talked about doing. There's a lot of different places we want to go. Matt Casey says, always enjoyed working with my hands on the farm growing up. Decided to go back to school this fall for plumbing. Wish I would have done this from the start instead of getting my degree. The average age of a plumber here, and you say here, so where are you located, is in the late 50s with no one going into the trade. Keep up the great work, Roger and team. And it's an entire team. It's not just me, guys. It is literally, and it's everybody. I've got a great team around me, and it really does help. And what I was trying to do was, there we go. Okay. I just want to see how many people we had in here right now. I agree with you. And that's why we do what we do, while we talk about getting into the trade and why it's important, what good it could be for people, and the benefits I think it'll bring them in the future. Because, look, you don't need to go to college for it. There's a lot of opportunities here. So I wish more people do it. I'm from Sweden. We use a lot of Uponor, but we use mostly press fittings, not shark bite. Parts are called S-Press. And have you used them? And have you used RS2 parts? I like it. Eric, I can tell you I have not. We use a lot of Uponor here. We also use a lot of PEX pipe, which is the press type fittings. I do not let my guys use shark bite fittings. We actually went to a job, or I went to a job today up in Oklahoma City to consult with the community manager and regional manager, and they had already made a repair with the shark bite, and they were going in to make another repair. And I told them, I said, look, I don't let my guys use shark bites. Asked them if they had wrapped them and treated them for underground, what they had done. And by the time I left, they had changed everything they did. I got rid of the shark bite fittings. So I have not tried those, but we don't use shark bites either. I really don't like it. Derek Johnson says, have you ever gotten a bad plumbing day, and what was it? Man, any day can be bad. Derek, what I'll tell you is, man, I don't let negativity keep me down long. Even when I'm in a bad mood, it doesn't take long for me to get over it. I'm like, you know what, whatever. I believe in, man, we can generate our own happiness. If I have a bad day, it's maybe, I soldered something and had a leak. I put together plastic and I didn't tighten a slip nut, so it leaks a little bit. It's nothing that's going to ruin the world or in my life or anything like that. That's probably the worst that's ever happened. I mean, I can't think of anything so bad that, Lord, I just thought, oh my God, that was a horrible day. I've had plumbers step through the roof on a project, in a homeowner's house. So there's a lot of different things that can happen and do happen and stuff like that. At the end of the day, I really don't let it bother me. Michael says, what do you do about companies who want you to review their products? I normally don't really review products. And I say that, as you see, I got a sponsorship with Ferguson, and it was part of the deal that I made with them. There's a lot of products that I want to review. And what I told them is, look, if you will help me get these products in here, I'll review them, but I'm not selling the product for you. If I don't like it, I'm going to tell you I don't like it. They do represent some products that I've told them I don't want to work with this brand or this product. And that's all part of my agreement with them. I'm allowed to do that. I don't like companies that just reach out to me and say, hey, we've got a new outdoor light that has 1 million lumens, and we want you to write us a 5-star positive review, and we will send you one to let you try it first. It's like, you know what? I'm not gonna do it. It's number one, it's not worth it. You're trying to give me a free $50 product to make a video for you that, is liable to get 2 million views, and it's not a good idea. If I had a lot less subs, I may think, okay, it may be worth a try. I may want to do this. I may want to do that. But to be honest, I like doing things the way we do it, and I really love it. Jacob Lake says, how do you feel about journeyman pipe fitters getting their plumbing license? Jacob, as long as they know how to plumb and they can pass the test and they can do all that, I love it. I think it's great. We need more plumbers, and I am constantly recruiting them and trying to bring them in and help them get their license and do things. I think we need more people in the trades. So if they're pipe fitters, at least they understand a little bit about water. I love it. Matthew says, make sure that's one I'm on. Doesn't pay as much. Trade. Look down on the trade. Okay, hold on. Let me jump back up. Yeah, okay. Lack of people in the trade. What you said before, for dumb people, or for some dumb people. Reason people start to look down on the trade. Hard, too dirty, doesn't pay as much. And Nikolai, here's the deal. I'm going to jump back on yours real quick. I don't mind it when other people look down on me because they've already lost, because they have completely underestimated me. And I love that. I love telling people all the time, look, I'm just a plumber. And it's my fallback. It's my go-to, because if I can get them just believing, hey, he's just a plumber, man, they've already underestimated me. And I kind of love it. All right, Matthew, ready? Sorry, I tried to keep my message on the forum short. In Eastern Canada, would have went right into the trade and skipped school this fall, but no one wanted to hire anyone fresh. School route gives me 900 hours. I'm probably not going to read all through this whole thing. School trade gives me 900 hours towards the Red Seal and connects me with someone to do my 1 month term with. Good for you. Done in the spring. And Matthew, I got a question, because I have people, and I've tried reaching out to Justin Trudeau. I think there's a lot of people in Canada. Matter of fact, somebody asked me the other day if I'd do a podcast in Canada. I want to help people get in the trades no matter where they're at. Africa, Canada, the UK, it doesn't matter. I think getting in the trades is a great opportunity, and I think a lot of people have an amazing life ahead of them if they will try. Jump to Joe and then go right back to Matthew. Joe says, after our foam video, we had a foam salesman drive 3 hours to pitch me on re-recording with their product. Yeah, absolutely. Matthew says, you're totally right, Nikolai. These days they push everyone to go to school and then look down on anyone who strays from that path. Without these people, we'd have no food, water, or electricity. So now I'm doing, how did that change? Okay. So now I'm doing great and a whole lot of work, while a lot of college people and people who've gone through the university are out of work. And Nikolai, that's everywhere in the world right now. If you look at what all's going on, and look, we're still in the middle of it. We've still got, I mean, there's a lot of places in the country tightening back down. I want to welcome I want to welcome Adrian Stonis. Man, you're a tuber turd now. I love it. Welcome and congratulations. This is something that I literally talked about months ago. Look, if you want to know what essential is, man, look at the people who are working right now. And, as our plumbing company, we've slowed down a little bit, but we've also started picking back up. And what I'll say is, look, drinking water is essential. Bless you. Drinking water is essential. Electricity, heat, air, shelter for your family, roofing. There's so many things that are essential that it does. The trades are a great opportunity for people not just to learn their way up, but keep working and stay busy. King Davis says, what is so different about mobile home plumbing? Really not a lot on the outside of the homes where I work. I work mainly with the water mains, the water lines, things like that. Inside, they use different fixtures, different tub and shower valves, maybe different kitchen faucets, maybe size, things like that. Other than that, not a lot. And I got to tell y'all, I've been in some that were built so daggum well, it was like, wow, this is really, really nice. So, pretty cool deal. Ariana Stona says, would a normal tub drain kit fit a cast iron? Only things I can find at nearest store from northern Canada. Would a normal tub drain fit a cast iron? If you mean Adrian, give me some more information. And the reason I'm saying that is when you say fit cast iron, are you talking the tub drain itself, fit a cast iron tub? Or are you talking a cast iron drain system tying PVC into it? I'm thinking a cast iron tub, and yeah, we put plastic or brass waste and overflows on all the time. So either one of those will fit cast iron if that's what you're talking about. Chris says, a big leak in the basement whenever water is drained, it seems. Also, toilet overflows when the washing machine drains. Yeah, there's definitely a big leak then. What I would do is I would probably get down there and run, either run the washing machine, run something where you can watch it and see what's leaking. Knock that puppy out. Those are normally easy to find. Do you think Schedule 30 is any good? Geneva, USA makes it. I don't know that I've ever seen Schedule 30. I've worked with Schedule 40. I've worked with SDR. I've worked with a lot of different things. But yeah, can't say I've ever seen Schedule 30. Okay, so we're talking a clawfoot tub. Plastic, the metal one on it leaks. On a clawfoot tub where it's going to be visible all the time, I would probably want to go either a chrome or a polished brass, something to match. They make custom ones for clawfoot tubs that stand up where they can be seen really, really good. We've actually installed one of those. I think we did chrome. New water lines coming up for. I mean, it was really a cool installation. Plastic will work, but normally people that spend as much money on a clawfoot tub don't want that big piece of plastic showing there. Christopher says, my toilet is draining slow. I've already used a toilet auger. What is the next step? You might need to pull it and reset it and see if it's actually the toilet draining slow or if the sewer line itself, maybe the lead bin's got roots or something like that in it that you're just not able to get to. So there's definitely other ways to go. Whatever you do, don't pour chemicals in it, please. Are you a fan of Stephen Lavimaneri's channel at all, and do you talk to him? You know what, Luke, I like Stephen Lavimaneri. I think he's doing some good stuff in there. We're not friends. I don't talk to him. I just I've seen what he's done. He puts out a ton of videos, puts them out every day. He's up in Northeast Boston to me, or I say Northeast Boston, Northeast United States. I think he's in the Boston area. He actually does a lot of HVAC work where mine is more plumbing, but I know that he does a little bit of both of it. We don't talk. I have had Plumber Parts reach out from the UK and ask me if I'd be interested in doing a collab, and that's actually something, Will, if you'll write that down, we need to work on trying to get back in touch with him this week and see what we can do. So, yes, I know who Stephen Lavimaneri is. We just hadn't done anything with him. Landon says, do you do outdoor drain jobs? If so, then did you have to dig out a drain before? Oh, yeah, I've dug out drains before. I've done all kinds of things. Our outdoor drain jobs are normally the sewer mains, and we'll go in and repair or replace them, but, nothing really crazy. If we do area drains or irrigation drains, I've got a crew I normally call to do that takes care of it. Says, what do I do if my shower is off, but afterwards it keeps running? If it runs all night, it may be that it's not closing properly. If it runs for a little while, it just may mean that the shower head, it's not getting enough air in it to drain out. You might try cleaning out the shower head or replacing it, or you may have to change your cartridge. Is it a one-handled shower valve or like a three-handled shower valve? Some of those can make a difference, whether as a diverter or not. Thomas says, commercial plumber here. NCCER or union, what is your personal preference? I've looked through the NCCER information. I've never used it. I know that some of the local high schoolers here are using that as their syllabus. I like what the union has. I think the union needs a lot of work to make things better, but I've never been in the NCCER training program. I know that, like I said, some of the local high schools have it. The kids appear to like it. I used to teach in the union. I loved it. I love being a teacher because I love helping people. But I think a lot of the union instructors are just in it for a paycheck. I think that they really don't care about the kids or what they're doing. They just want to bring that check home every week, and it makes them pretty poor instructors. Matthew says, so far, I think we have some good supports for getting into the trades up here in Canada. Grants for each level you complete. Yeah, while in high school, I like that. Journey Person Company gets a tax break. And we're trying, or I'm trying, to get I'm trying to talk to the executive director of the Texas State Board. I would like to, and I've actually reached out to some politicians. I would love for us to find a way to set things up where we can help our high school students start getting college credits or getting credit for their professional license while in high school. I think it'd be great. Maxwell says, what does deadwood fling? Why does deadwood fling everywhere when you put it in the chipper? Man, because those teeth are flying 90 miles an hour, just eating it up. JP says, thoughts on Victolic piping? I got to tell you, if you set your groover right, I've installed a lot of Victolic piping before. I have no problem with it. Later, after I work more with plumbers and welders and pipe fitters and stuff like that, I can see why the welding is better. But what I also like about the Victolic is you've got a little play in there, and it allows you to do things that allows you to fill some gaps that probably some welders couldn't fill. So that's pretty cool. I think Victolic's a great alternative, though. Garrett says, have you ever refused a customer for being rude or treating you poorly? And Garrett, I really haven't. Here's my deal. Look, that's their problem. That's not my problem. I hired a tradesman who thought he was a master plumber one day. And he used to talk about, when I stick my hand out to shake it, I don't move until they shake my hand. And I'm like, you know what? You just can't be that kind of person. You've literally got to be, here's the deal. At the end of the day, the customer's always right. And, you can say that's not true, but remember that customer's paying your bills. That customer's paying your company's bills. That customer's paying for your livelihood and everything you do. And at the end of the day, the customers are right. Now, we need to work harder to find a way to better that relationship, work on improving our communications, whatever we can do to make it all better. And I think if we look at it and try like that, it can definitely make it better.
Just to let you know, it is almost 5:20.
I see. It's 5:19. Matthew says, pretty sure Adrian tax deductions for your tools. That'd be awesome. Absolutely. $5 a year for tools, $500 a year for tools. That's great. As far as you can remember. Here's the deal is, and that's the neat thing about the union is, the union pays you an additional 10 cents an hour. No, it's not much. But it's like, $200 a year for a tool credit. In the beginning, they gave us a bag of tools and said, look, we're constantly going to build this and upgrade it and make it better. And that's what that $200 a year is for. So there's definitely ways to improve it. What is the biggest problem in plumbing you've ever had? Nothing I couldn't fix. One of the hardest jobs I ever had is probably trying to locate why a hot water circulation system wasn't working properly. But if you get under there and trace enough lines down and figure it out, you can sure figure it out and make it happen. So Mason, that would probably be one of my worst. Joseph says, will PVC yellow under the sun like plastic? It will definitely cause problems. I don't remember if it yellows. Yeah, and I have seen it yellow. you can go check the spec sheet on it and see what it says about leaving it out in the sunlight. I know that on pools that happens a lot, but normally on pools it doesn't really yellow. CPVC I have seen get yellower. Even Schedule 80 PVC, that there are UV problems there. And I remember that from working out at Texas Instrument, having to treat pipe or make sure it got coated or wrapped because of things like that. So just make sure any pipe you're putting out in the sun, you always check to see what the specs say to do. John says, what width of pipe would you recommend for waste removal for 2 apartments with combined 4 people? It doesn't matter if there's 4 people or whatever. What matters is how many fixture units and things like that. And there's formulas in the UPC and IPC code book. You're probably looking at a 4-inch line would probably handle that. It depends on how many bathrooms and things, but normally a 4-inch line. But I would also, to keep one person from throwing a bunch of baby wipes down and causing the other side to back up, I would probably run them out as 2 separate drains and do it that way. But I look at things a little different sometimes. Jacob says, what is your opinion on water utility workers versus plumbers in terms of what they do? You know, we have different jobs. My butt's getting a little sore. I'm going to stand up for a minute. I'm going to go to that camera there because it looks a little better right now. So, you know, water utility workers, that's a scary looking face. Water utility workers, we do different things. Water utility workers work on big mains. It's something that I fought the last legislature for here in Texas, the 86th legislature. They wanted to put utility installers, let the utility guys install water all the way up the house. And they're saying, well, we use the same materials. Like, look, y'all don't run copper. Y'all run blue brood. You do mechanical joints, not solder joints. Do you know how to flush a line? Do you know how to do this? There's a lot of things they don't do, and it just blew my mind. Yeah, I want to mention to the people in here, if y'all hadn't gone over to the subreddit, we've got the subreddit Roger Wakefield posts. Go over there and check it out, man. Great videos, great pictures. Post all that stuff over there. It's pretty cool. And God, we've got 1,200 followers over there now. That thing's growing fast and looking cool. We got
a lot of people, a lot of really good posts.
I know it. I love going in there and reading it.
Cool stuff.
Yeah. And another neat thing about it is we've also got a new YouTube channel, Roger Wakefield Shorts. That one's pretty cool. If y'all are in here, man, when this is done, jump over there and subscribe. We go back through a lot of our old videos and pull up just a little vertical, short, pretty funny thing. So it's pretty cool. And back into the forum. Jason says, how does one grow such a magnificent mustache? See, I almost want to stop right there. I mean, it's like, man, what a great way to, I should have came back to that one. Jason, you know what? I'm really lucky because I started growing facial hair when I was 15 years old. When I was 15 years old, I could grow a really good beard. A good beard and mustache. Not quite as thick as this, but the cool thing about it is it worked. So at 15, I show up to freshman year of high school football, and people are looking at me like, "Hey, who's this grown man in here?" And it was really funny. But like I take care of my stash. I baby it. I trim it. I shampoo it. I condition it. I keep it looking good. All right. We got just a couple of more questions here, gentlemen and ladies. Michael Saviano, trade school or apprenticeship? Man, might be the question of the day right there. I got to tell you, I loved being an instructor in the union. I loved it because, man, I am all in. When I teach, I literally, man, my guys came to class to learn. They knew that I wanted them to do the work. I wanted them to study. I didn't want to talk sports. I didn't want them playing on their phones. When you came to my class, you were there to learn. And some students hated it. Some students thought, man, Roger is a horrible teacher. He doesn't let you sleep. He doesn't let you nap. Be back from break on time, be in class on time. But you know what? That's what I would expect from a job site. And when I was a superintendent, it's like, look, show up on time, get back from your break on time, get back from your lunch on time. I treat people very fair. You show up and give me 8 hours work, you get 8 hours pay. Man, life is amazing. As an apprenticeship, remember though, I came up open shop. So I learned from some of the best plumbers I think I've ever worked with. And I can truthfully say that I owe them for making me the plumber that I turned out to be. I didn't learn from the union. I taught for the union. I went in and taught them things that I had learned. So I really think that it's going to depend on the people as to what kind of training they want. Do they need that classroom training to get the extra education? Because I happen to believe that the union and PHCC and NCCER have a great system. There's a great lesson there. There's a great syllabus there. But if you've got a horrible instructor, does it really matter? And so I look at it this way. And look, I think this is really a good question, Michael. If you just do an apprentice and you're stuck with a bad plumber, how good a plumber do you come out to be? At least through trade school, you've got multiple instructors. So even if you get one bad instructor, at least then maybe you can still come out okay. And Nikolai, man, I don't do a lot of plumber jokes. So I don't know. If you heard any good plumber jokes? Yeah, Will's like, no.
Not a one.
Yeah, plumbers aren't funny people. Grow good mustaches, though. The Muslim plumber's in the house. How are you? It's good to see you in here. Man, you waited till the very end, didn't you? It's good to have you in here. And I got another question here. Jason, that's a novel. All right. Yeah, Jason, did you see where it says keep it short, please? Says we bought our house 5 years ago. A maintenance machinist, fix machines. Not your regular maintenance guy, so going nuts. We had a roof put on. Roofer comes to me and says, where's your vent pipe? Because he had the bib looked over. It's a 3-story house, so my first time up there, the 3rd floor. Semi on first shift, capped off vent pipe, not a good idea. Enter from the bathroom renovation on the 1st floor. Yeah, renovation, that scares me. 2nd bathroom, with Royal Flush 2 toilet, have 2-inch street water tap. This house is brick and built like a commercial one. Yeah, sounds like you got a lot of problems. Yeah, and then you put explain, please. Look, you got to have vents on your pipe that go out the roof. If you don't, and I say that, I know that they make the Studer vents. There's different things you could do. This isn't something I can explain to you just by a little message or note. Man, guys, look, if y'all are plumbers and you're working with people buying new homes, this is why you want to teach things like this. Do a sewer water test. Do a sewer water test. And if you know a real estate agent, tell them to recommend those to every new home buyer that they have. Lots of things going on there. And I got to tell you, man, if you buy a new house and there's leaks, there's things like this. Number one, sewer gases can make people sick. I've gone into houses that people have bought that the water heater didn't even have a vent on it, and the home inspector didn't catch it. And I tell people, look, you understand this could kill you. And it blows their mind. And they're like, well, why didn't somebody else catch that? I don't know. Guys, this has been fun. I love what we do. I love the fact that we get to do it quite often. Oh, that's pretty cool. I got one more question, then we're going to shut this down and get out of here. It says, and this is from Random Dude. It says, what is the time in where you live? It is 5:30 in the afternoon, so we're getting ready to shut down. And he says he is from Israel, and it's very early in the morning. So welcome from Israel. You got in right at the very end of it. Been a long day for me today. I got up in Oklahoma City, had to be back here by 3 o'clock to finish up in Dallas. Man, guys, we enjoy what we do because we get to help people that want to get into the trades, tradesmen that are in the trades and want to get better at it, tradesmen that eventually want to open their own company, and trades companies owners that want to learn how to do social media to grow and get better. So I want to thank you all for being here. I really do appreciate it. Thank you all for the super chats. Thanks to William and Liz and Grayson and Amber and Julie. And I think that's all the mods we had in here today. No Neil, no Paul, no nobody. Man, kind of quiet. Thanks to Joe Everest. If y'all hadn't subscribed to his channel, jump over and check it out. If you have not jumped over yet on Roger Wakefield's shorts, go over there and subscribe. We're having fun repurposing some content, putting it up. And Nikolai says Reddit doesn't work. Don't know why. We'll try the Reddit link. I tried it earlier today and it worked fine. I'm just going to do it real quick because I'm here. Yeah, and it may be. I'm going into Reddit and I'm going over to Roger Wakefield posts. And yeah, it's definitely working here. Yeah, I'll put it up there. That's what it looks like, guys. Make sure I'm on the right camera. See, did the same thing. So yeah, there it is. I don't know if I can get it where you can really see it. Zoom in just a hair, can you? There you go. So that's it. Roger Wakefield posts. If y'all will go over there, follow, subscribe, join. I think it's join over there. It'll make it all happen. Anyway, I'd say try it again. Muslim Plumber, we will definitely see you next week. Guys, I really do. I hope that you have thoroughly enjoyed this. I hope you got something out of it. And I hope you come back next week. If y'all have not seen the video we did today, man, it was fantastic. Anyway, thank you all very much. I appreciate you being here. And hopefully I will see you all again next week. Again, thanks to the mods. I'm Roger Wakefield, Lead AP, the expert plumber. I'll see you in the next video if you don't get flushed.